Off the bat, I must admit I'm a mite disappointed in myself, because I have here in my very dwelling so many heaps of things to make me look significantly, substantially, monstrositily more mad than I do now. But anyhow, I couldn't go digging through all the crevices of myself and the treacle wells, you know. I had to just get on with the show. It's very late and there's much on my plate. Oh, bit of spot of tea on there. Never too late or too early for a spot of tea. But I could have made my madness much more obvious, and I'm sorry I didn't. I could have conveyed it to you in so many ways. This joker always stealing my place at the table and thinks he can get away with it too. It's madness. But yes, I could have dressed to impress so much more. I implore you to forgive me for not being at my best. I know that the very socks of me could be infinitely more mad. But I'm glad you joined me anyway, because today happens to be Mad Hatter Day. So I have a lot to say on the topic, as you can well guess. 10, 6. Yes, it is. 10 of 6. 10, 6, 10 of 6. Half a dozen of one, 6 of another. I hope you do recover from me not being mad enough. Oh, we've gone Jabberwocky-wise, haven't we? Wonky clumsy-wise. Please forgive me, won't you? It's a shaky world we live in, under this tree hole, where we hold our unbirthdays. Is it yours today? You don't say, old Jab. He didn't even let on a little the fact that it happens to be his unbirthday. You old so-and-so. When has the caterpillar ever been invited to the tea party, I'd like to know? Here's a lark for you. This old thing. I swear to you, I kerflumpled with it. I knocked it. I tapped it. I smacked it. I unpacked it. Oh, there, I've stopped it again with the power of my mind. I didn't even know I could do it reversey-wise. I couldn't get it to do the ticking I wanted you to feel, you know, the sort of, how would you say, madness of it all. But I can get it to do the trick. A second. I trick times 2. I did the trick both ways, partial-wise. Now a piece has come out. Now this is a whole new mystery. This looks like a key. Perhaps it fits in a hole that Alice could find. Oh, there's flying swimble swans. All right. I haven't the foggiest. See? This is what I mean. I was sticking the knick-knack here and the paddywhack there, and the impact of it was that I couldn't get it to tick. And now there's a whole piece that I don't know, or I don't know what to believe. But I gave it a good shook, is what I'm trying to impart to you in this part of the book. I gave it a good shook, and it began ticking, just like an old friend. Don't even want to pretend. I can't pretend to know what this means, but it seems to be perhaps the key of the fabric of the very universe that we exist in. I'll try to figure it out and get back to you. I do know. I had it at such a contrary-wise angle, in the best way that I liked, and now I'm just fighting with a very tether that tethers us. I do enjoy the crunchy leaves either which way. The crunching leaves are a great parade for all. So we're having a ball here with the caterpillar, whom I don't know how he got an invite. But it's all right. I'll get him to move out of my seat presently. I never can decide which tea to have. Have you heard of this one? I've heard it's quite intoxicating. think we'll be waiting till his next unbirthday, perhaps, for this one. Seems a bit overdone. Soaked too long, you know. But don't get your geese in a row just yet. Just know that I have brought a spoon for the jam. I know you were clamming up inside, wondering, well, she's put this party together. But where is the spoon for the jam? Monsieur and Madame, never you fear. If I can get time to steer the direction... Okay, well, no, I suppose I can't get it to stop again now because you put me on the spot. But we've got everyone I thought we'd have. Even the dormouse. He's a dirty... I suppose you don't tell a secret this way. He's a dirty louse. He's not as sweet as he seems. So no, this isn't a dream. It's just a presentation of a compilation of a day about hatters. There it is. And that's all that matters. We're here. We have multiple spoons of jam. In fact, I believe I'll take a boost myself. Oh, the marmalade. It just goes on for days, that marmalade. I do feel disappointed, though. I have so many eccentric mugs and cups and tiny teacups and big teacups and big fluffy teapots. Teapots that seem like they're about to sing. And I just couldn't bring myself to go do the digging for them all, you know. But we'll go on with it. I must ask you to move from my seat. He wants to supersede my power here. He's agreed. He's agreed reluctantly to give me some room at the table to do what I must do. Oh, there, old chap. Hang in with us, then. So, what do you suppose I bring you? Some poetry? Yes. We're all feeling the need to poeticize. Oh, I've almost forgot. I've got a pocket-sized jam dessert cooking for you. This has been soaking in jam for days now. Don't you get carried away. It's for dessert. I'll just put it in my ribcage purse, you know. The cavernous place that pollywogs go when you don't have need for them, of course. Feel far from you. I shall lean in. Does it perhaps particularly work if I... Does that give you a... Could you... Would you... No. I suppose that isn't working. I'll just lean in ever so. We'll have a go of it. Oh my. I must admit, I've just now realized I haven't yet had a spot to tea. Silly me. It's what we throw these unbirthdays for, isn't it? Don't worry one bit. I intended every ounce of it. It's for you, dear. Sorry, I was so cruel before. Please ignore all things done by us when we aren't aware. Cognizant? Cogniscient. Cogs to the finish. Soft mittens. Do you ever get to just thinking about mittens? Cheers to that. Cheers to that old chap. I agree entirely. Just the way I like it. Steeped to an unbearable degree, so that it makes my cheeks do a bit of a symphony, such as the music I like to prepare for on birthdays. You're welcome. I would never forget your on birthday. So we're a bit saturated here, aren't we? Cheers to that as well. Don't worry, I won't burn myself. I'll just give you some poetry. Where do we need our light, dear friend? Come in. Lend me your love. I must be closer to you all than I am. I must be close. There we are. It's only a matter of perspective, isn't it? Oh, but we must. Oh, we're trying. What if we just reach the hands of time? You know, we went what's-it-ways for a moment. Here we are then. We're all together, friends. I do that before I begin any good recitation. Recitation. Here we are. We must see the day. Very important. Oh, dear friend, come in with me. We'll sing songs. Yes, that's it. Deliciously so. It is called Clock, Gear, Butter, Slabs in the Haberdashery. Oh, would you like me to feed you that title again? It is quite juicy, isn't it? Yes, indeed. It is called Clock, Gear, Butter, Slabs in the Haberdashery. More for me. Hopped up on fumes in the haberdashery. Or was that in fact the inspiration for such lunacy? Carol must have thought, I so tire of people nagging me, inquiring, why is a raven like a writing desk? And I confess I did not know until today that years after Alice played in his volatile Wonderland place, this is what he had to say. Because both produce a few notes, though they are very flat, and it is never put with the wrong end in front. That is, never with an A for the record. That's exactly what Carol had to say. Because both produce a few notes, though they are very flat, and it is never put with the wrong end in front. Was calling the Hatter mad a stunt to sell books? Because if you take a closer look, he is only referred to in the stories as Hatter. Him being mad is really a matter of a disappearing cat's opinion. There's a division among those who suppose the saying mad as a hatter, a phrase folks would say long before Alice was after the White Rabbit, became a habit due to the mercury-fueled slurring uncontrollably and unexpected drool with a tendency to act like a fool from stripping the fur off of an animal's flesh and then losing one's cool, so to speak. Or is that a weak, diluted interpretation or fixation assigned to the hat makers of the time? Because you can, in fact, find many such phrases that have nothing to do with being a crazy mess at all, such as, go in on him like a hatter, drunk as a hatter, or lie like a hatter. I sense a pattern of hatter behavior informing many descriptors. For ages, fans and scholars have studied young Alice's adventures as though they were scripture. It's a script for adolescent awakening, as well as a sort of anthem for shaking up the mundane in favor of the insane. And refraining from logic as a way to find the door to restore youth and take the right-sized mushroom nibble to unlock it. I think many people block out the fact that the story at its core is about an older author's fixation with his child neighbor, whose company he favored over the stuffy intellectuals surrounding him. It's the same way we tone down the Grimm brothers' words until they're more digestible to serve on a marketable cartoon platter. We smatter our modern interpretations upon everything and make the characters sing catchy little numbers. But if you read these tales, then slumber, you'll find yourself under the spell of the images as they were written. Perhaps you won't be so smitten. Many things are forgiven or overlooked when a book or a concept is popularized. But you don't have to be a PI to see that calling Alice in Wonderland a total innocent adventure is probably a lie we use to comfort ourselves so that we too may delve into a world so interesting as the one Carol created. It's the concentrated confusion and scary illusions caused by coming of age. Each page is a step out of childhood into the dark and scary woods of the rule of schoolmaster's strict confines inflicted upon us as we tack on the years. The Hatter, with butter in his gears, is, I think, a commentary on adults' fears of not having everything figured out to a science. Alice tries to be polite and compliant with the ridiculous rules, but as soon as she is defiant against the tools of control being used to hold her down, these characters, though silly and outrageous, are not merely clowns placed around her to get laughs. They are a representation of the absolute wrath inflicted upon us all when we are forced to grow up. If we ate cake on every single unbirthday, we'd constantly feel like we were about to throw up. And if we were forced to abide every time an illogical Hatter wanted a clean cup, well, we'd be in a tough spot indeed. A fact that struck me was that way back when, in Turkey, camel piss was used to soften hat fibers. Many men in France, unsure of where to procure a camel, used their own urine to replicate the results. Somehow a man received a consult to use mercury to treat his unfortunate case of syphilis, and somehow he made the analysis to use it for treating the felt. His sorrows below the belt became a quick way to melt fur from animal flesh, and yes, this all somehow became part of the mythology of Mad Hatters understood today, passed through centuries. Understandably, it's easy to connect the dots between the metal fume fever given to the receiver of these mercury clouds and the loud, abrasive character of Carol's Hatter, who certainly has no intention to flatter poor Alice when he insists with his Disney-imposed lisp, "Your hair needs cutting." What she imagines is a budding friendship, is actually her unknowingly slipping into a very bad trip. The March hare's convulsing fit doesn't help one bit, and she's hit with another sad side effect of letting easy trust get in the way of just listening to what her deeper instinct has to say. She's on the verge of floating away in an ocean of her own tears before anyone steers her into a better direction. When finding allies in such a strange place, one must try to take great care with one's selection. Just when Alice thinks she's made a great connection with a bright striped cat, he makes the Queen believe she's responsible for intentionally tripping said royalty flat on her back. It's a lot to unpack, this total lack of trustworthiness. She's thrown for so many curves and blamed for every mess. Her tests are extensive and her rewards are few. What's a girl in a tree hollow portal to do? But the through line is the clever tricks in your mind that convince you just because a character is colorful and seems intriguing, it's safe believing they must be kind, are deceptions that can find us at any age, at any time, with little to no reason and sometimes with enticing rhyme. And discovering who you are can be difficult to find. It can be a very tough bind when your head is on the line. It's a lot to unwind and especially tricky in a frilly frock. But remember to think carefully before you speak a peep, because as you know, people who don't think shouldn't talk. That's what I've got. I must list my sources, of course. I got some of these sources from corrosion-doctors, corrosion, CORROSION, dash doctors. Or what is the line that goes like this? This is a dash, this is a slash, this is a space. The one that goes like this in the middle. You know it. corrosiondoctors.org. And it's about toxic mercury Mad Hatter stuff. And they have all sorts of crazy information on there that I never, ever, ever heard in my life. Corrosion doctors. Information about the past, you know. What is time, anyway? I certainly haven't got a clue. Oh, right. Getting through the sources. AliceInWonderland.net. It's actually Alice-in-Wonderland.net. TheGuardian.com. EconomicTimes.com. WordHistories.net. That's word as in the things we speak from our mouth parts. WordHistories.net. And that article is a hypothesis as to the origin, a hypothesis to the origin of Mad as a Hatter. Pascal Traeger. It is spelled like this. Here, let me just show you my sources. Check it out. Research things you don't know about. Find them. Find that camel piss was used in hats. And that's that. Find it. Find the portals in the trees. That's enough from me.